Okay, next step on this Pontiac Trans Am on the Ls engine rebuild and engine removal. We're gonna about to start removing the accessories. We're gonna need a 14 or 15 millimeter here for the tensioner, so we can remove the belt. Once we remove the belt, we can go ahead and remove the other pulleys, idlers, power steering pump, water pump. So let me go ahead and do it. Okay, for the belt tensioner, it's a 15 millimeter. We'll need to put them in there, and we're gonna go clockwise. So it loses the tension. Go there and you remove the belt. Then we'll go ahead and do it. Our belt is off. Same thing on the secondary belt, which is the one from the AC pump. 15 millimeter. Do the same thing. You're gonna push down. No, you're gonna push. Yeah, we're gonna push down, and you pull this one out from here. Secondary belt or AC pump belt is off. Always bend it from the inside. See if the little things are worn or cracked. This one is fine. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove the accessories. We're gonna remove the tensioner, water pump, and the other ones. I'll be back. Alright, to remove the tensioner, it's gonna be 15 millimeter sockets, and to remove the water pump, it's gonna be 10 millimeter sockets. It's 10 millimeters and 15 millimeters. That's mainly the socket you're gonna need. 14, 15, and 10 millimeter. So let me go ahead and remove this one, water pump, and then the other pulleys. Okay, before you remove the water pump, remove the heater core hoses. Those two right here. You're gonna need the pliers. Get the one-time use clamp off. Put them on the side. One here and one the other one, and remove those hoses. If you want, you can mark them, so you will remember where it goes. What I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna leave this one, the clamps on, so I can remember the rusty one goes first and the silver one goes in the back. So let me go ahead and do it, remove that, and remove the water pump with a 10 millimeter socket. Alright, hoses are off, and then I was thinking of marking them, but you know what? It's not neat. You know why? Because one is smaller than the other one. The one in the back is smaller, the one in the front is bigger. So now I can go ahead and remove the water pump. Okay, in order for you guys to remove this 10 millimeter for the water pump, this little pulley or idler, you're gonna have to remove it with 15 millimeter. Look how it looks. That's the washer in the front, the actual pulley, and then it has another space in the back. So whenever you are ready to reassemble, don't forget to do this. This is how it looks. A huge washer, the pulley, and another one there, and the bolt. Now we're ready to remove the water pump. Now make sure you have your pan on there, because it's gonna leak water. So have this thing ready. It's gonna leak water. Water pump is off. Now we can go ahead and remove the power steering and then the alternator. For the power steering, there are gonna be 3 bolts. You're gonna get through the holes of the pulley through here. It's gonna be, in my case, it's only 2 because they didn't install the other one. So it's gonna be 2 13 millimeters. That's how you get it out, from here and there. Boom. One here, one there. I'll get the whole thing out, and then the bracket is gonna stay in there. Let me show you. There is one out. Get the other one over there. And there goes the power steering pump. 2 13 millimeters. Now you're not gonna remove the hoses. We're just gonna move it to the side. We're just gonna put them around there. We hold it in place somewhere right now. We're gonna tie it from here, and there's some zip ties or wire. We now can go ahead and remove the alternator. It seems like it's a 14 or 15 millimeter bolts, and then we get it out. Or for the alternator, it's gonna be 15 millimeter. That's what we need. Okay, alternator is off. All they needed was 3 15 millimeter bolts. So this is out. We're gonna let it hang, and we're good to go for the rest ones. We're gonna let it hang there. Don't worry about it. All right, next we're gonna move the AC pump. For that, we're gonna have to remove the 15 bolts, one here, one there, and 2 in the bottom. Okay, the AC pump is off. As I told you, 4 15 millimeters, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. AC 2-axis once you remove the radiator. Now we're gonna remove this bracket, same 15 millimeter socket, 2 here, 3 on the bottom. Remove the whole bracket. After that, we're done. We're gonna remove the coils, valve covers, heads with the headers. The bracket for the AC is off. Only took 4 15 millimeters. We're good to remove the valve covers on the heads. Okay, now we're on top. We're gonna remove the top ACDelco CGR type of thingy right here from the headers. 2 10 millimeters. It goes a tube right here. Goes all the way around with the hose. Under here, all the way around. It goes back here again. It goes from header to header. It's like a bridge. We're gonna have 2 10 millimeter bolts for each side, and we're gonna remove it. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, to remove the coils, all you need is 1 2 3 4 5 or 6 10 millimeters. Remove it, and the coil is out. And then usually on the valve covers, this one are aftermarket, but the regular ones is like 5/16 or 8 millimeters, so we can remove the valve cover. So let me go ahead and go get the special on the 8 millimeter. All I needed for those bolts is this one right here. It's a 5 millimeter. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove these ones, push rods, rock around with the 8 millimeters, push rods, get it off, get the header out with the 10 millimeter. On the bottom 2, I'm ready to remove the head. Okay, the battery died, but I'm back. Here's how I told you. The rocker arms with the 8 millimeter socket. You remove the bolts, rocker arms off, push rods. The spacer goes under, and then the one for the exhaust, the headers, they're really loose. 10 millimeter bolts, they're out. Same on this side. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm about to go under. I'm gonna remove the starter. I'm gonna remove so I can go through the flywheel bolts and the torque converter, and then the bolts from the transmission. But this is how it looks so far. Engine is coming out, and stay tuned, don't go nowhere, because once I do that, the engine should be able to go out. And then I'm also removing the bolts for the engine mounts. Oh, I also remove the hood. So we're getting there. Okay, a quick video on how to remove the starter on the Trans Am with the 5.7 LS engine. First, you're gonna lift your car. Now that it's lifted, you're gonna secure it on towers or jack stands. Tools you're gonna need an impact, ratchet, or an extension if you want to do it by hand. If you have the impact, you get the impact. You're gonna need a 13 millimeter socket and 1/2 inch socket. The 1/2 inch socket you're gonna need it to remove the bolts on the starter. So let me go ahead and go under. Okay, now that we are under the car, the starter is gonna be on the side of the passenger, on the passenger side. On your bolts, let me get the flashlight. Here are your bolts. There's one right here, and the other one is gonna be right there. That's one, and that's the other one right here. So those are the 1/2 inch or even 13 millimeter will fit. And you see the red cable, that's the 12 volt red cable that comes from the battery. So before you do anything, make sure you unplug the battery. The battery is unhooked, it's unplugged. And you see that cable connects into there. I'm gonna have to move the flashlight so I can point it with my finger. It's gonna plug in there, right there. That one there. So we're gonna need a medium socket. Let me go get it. Let's try the 13 and 14 millimeter. I'll be right back. Okay, I have the 1/2 inch socket in place. So if you have a ratchet, that's when you're gonna use it, you're gonna remove it. But for me, I have the impact. So there's one off. The socket I have in here, this one is a 13 millimeter. So you can either go with 13 millimeter if you have it. If you don't have it, try the 1/2 inch, which is the 1/2 inch in there. So that's one bolt, one more to go, which is gonna be the one in here. You can't see it because of the flashlight, but it's gonna be under there. Let me go ahead and get it. That's the second bolt. There you go. You can wiggle it. Get the bolt out. I'm gonna need 2 hands, so let me get it done. So there you go. We get it out. Be careful with your fingers. Now that it's hanging, we're gonna see 2 cables. This one right here is a nut, is a 13 millimeter, and this one right here, the 8 millimeter. So go ahead and plug those, and your starter is out. There you have it, the starter is out. Trans Am with the 5.7 LS engine. Thanks for watching. And then to reinstall it is gonna be the same way. The same way you remove it. Okay, now that the starter is out, what we're gonna do, we're gonna unplug this sensor over here and the sensor on top, which is the crank sensor, all the way on top here. You can't really see it right there. Plug it, there's out, and then we're gonna move the cover for the flywheel with the 10 millimeter. I remove the little cover. Okay, now that the little cover is off, we're gonna spin the harmonic balancer or the main bolt with the 15 16ths, where is it? Can't see. With this socket right here, I'm gonna spin it. We're gonna spin the harmonic balancer so we can get to the flywheel bolts. So let's spin it around. Around there, so we can have some space to remove the bolts. These bolts are not originally from here, they replace it, and they seem a little bit stripped, so hopefully they're not gonna give me a hard time. Let me go ahead and remove those from the flywheel. Should have like 3 or 4. Okay, one bolt is out. This is not normal. It should be like anything between 10, 12 or 13 or even 14 millimeter regular head, not a torque or torques. So this is aftermarket shit. So let me go ahead and spin the engine and get the other ones out. Alright, the last flywheel bolt is out, so it only takes 3 of them. Again, this is not the normal one. Your usual one is gonna be 13 or 14 millimeter, but this one is aftermarket crap. So flywheel is out. Now I'm about to start removing the bolt from the transmission on the engine, and after I'm done, I remove the motor mounts, which is right there. Looks like what, 17 or 18 millimeters, and then we can put a chain on top and start removing the engine. So we're getting close. Okay, now the transmission bolts which is these ones right here, all the way around. Those are 14 millimeters or 9/16. If you guys are working in millimeters, it's better. So 14 millimeters is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 bolts. 2, 4, 6. Yes, like about 6 to 7 bolts. So let me go ahead and do that. 14. The one on the top is gonna be right between the intake. That's why we remove the intake. But the bottom ones is easier. These ones are quick. This one is quick. Right there. This one here. This one here. And the other ones around. For the other ones, you're gonna need a swivel. Try to make sure you guys buy some of these from AutoZone. These sockets are swivels. They move. It's perfect for this job. 14 millimeter. So let me go ahead and roll those.